What's going on, YouTubers? How are you guys doing today? I know you ladies and fellas are doing well. And we're just going to go ahead and let Facebook get online here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate you being here. Today's story is It's Harder Than You Think, an Uber story. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Motivational Mix. And today is brought to you by Uber, which I drive. I'm just kidding. It's not brought to you by anything, but I want to tell you a story. So today I was driving a person around, and this guy, he was telling me his story. And I love listening to people's stories. It's one of the reasons I enjoy Uber so much is the connecting piece. And I always say that nobody gets in my vehicle for no reason. There's always a reason and a connection that I need or that they need, and that's why they're in my vehicle. There's no way in the world that all these people are coming into my world or into my vehicle by chance. Okay, there's no way that this is random. They're all for a reason. So today's story is from this guy, and his story was that he was getting a divorce, and he was moving to Missouri for this beautiful, stunning, amazing woman that he met. He loved this girl. It's like no one he's ever met before. She was great. She was fantastic. He was leaving, back, his ex-wife, and all the situations going on at home and everything else, to be here with this woman. And he was here for a week with this woman, and kind of her and her family, getting to know her. And he was telling me a lot about this and how much that, being with her is the greatest things that ever happened to him, etc., etc. And I was just listening. I was like, okay, cool. That's a great story. And he tells me that one of the reasons that, they might be breaking up soon. And I'm like, well, wait a second. What's going on? You just told me that you really enjoyed her. And he's like, well, I drink a lot. I'm a raging alcoholic, were his words. And I kind of chuckled a little bit, and he chuckled a little bit too. And he's like, but no, I'm serious. And I was like, okay. So he was telling me how, he would get blackout drunk. And, one of the reasons why that he was going to end up, the problems that they were having are based on the fact that, he would get blackout drunk or whatever. So, I was just kind of chatting with him and everything else. And I said, well, so what it sounds like to me, and this is where the lesson comes in. He said, what it sounds like to me is that you have a choice to make. You can either choose this woman who you say is awesome and amazing in your life, or you can choose alcohol and kind of keep alcohol, around. And he's like, you're right. I never had it put like that. I was like, so you can either lose everything you wanted for a beer or a drink. And it sounds like once you get one, you get more. And then this is not about drinking, by the way. This is not what this story is about today. So he's like, no one's ever put it to me like that. He goes, but you just don't understand, And he said these words to me. He said, you don't understand. Let me move it closer. He said, it's harder than you think. And as soon as he said that, my brain went firing on all kinds of different places, all kinds of different ways and different messages and everything else. But it's harder than you think kind of stuck in my head. Why did that stick in my head? Because this right here, this whole saying, is from the aspect of a victim. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's harder than you think means that you've given up. If you're saying to yourself that it's out of your control, that you can't control it, but the thing is, he can control this. He's choosing not to. There's different ways to go about this to make sure that you're not getting involved in whatever it is that's keeping you away or keeping you from losing everything in your life. Some people's gambling, some people's drinking, some people's drugs, some people's being promiscuous on other levels. Some people it's, loyalty, whatever it is. And you say it's harder than you think. And you hear this a lot. But this is not the right saying. This saying is completely wrong. Because this is a passive way, a victim way, a passive way of getting away with doing whatever the heck you want to do. So instead, the statement that we should be saying is this. It is as hard as I think it is. Now, the difference between this statement right here is that this one's out of your control. Oh, it's harder than you think. I mean, you're pretty much giving up. But this one right here says this is hard as I think it is. So if I don't think that this is something that is I can't take down, then that means it's not as hard as I think it is, which means I can overconquer it. And I'm glad I got the Superman shirt on. But if it's harder than you think it is, then you've already told your brain you can't do it. But if it's as hard as you think and you think you can overcome it, then you will never have a problem. But a lot of people reside here. They don't think about the aspect of what they're telling themselves. But you have to tell yourself you can always do it. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because it's harder than you think it is a way of being passive and giving up. And you can't do that and get any type of forward motion or movement. Yesterday we talked about the action of being comfortable in the chair and getting up. But if I say, hey, there's $1 million in the other room and you're sitting in this chair comfortable, you go, well, I will get up, but it's harder than you think it is. Then you've told me your excuse to why you can't get up, because you said it's harder, so you don't want to get up. But if there's $1 million in the other room, and I say, hey, there's $1 million in the other room, you go, well, you know what? It is as hard as I think it is to get up from this chair. And I stand up. Now, all of a sudden, I've taken control. So it is as hard as you think it is what you need to be saying to yourself. Don't tell yourself it's as hard as you think. It's harder than you think, because this means you will not do it. It means you're giving yourself a chance or excuse. This relies in fear. Get rid of this altogether. I'm going to erase it. Get rid of it altogether. Okay? So, instead of saying it's harder than you think it is, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. It is as hard as I think it is. And not only that, it's as hard as I think it is I know I can get over it. Because if it's just as hard as I think it is, that means it's just a matter of mind over matter, mind over body. And you can make your mind do pretty much anything. Your body will follow your mind at all times. But you've got to make the choice to make your body do it. And that's all I wanted to say. So I told him this. I was like, you know what, man? It's only as hard as you think it is at all point in time. You can make the decision to make a move forward, left or right. You can make a decision whether to pick the beer up or whether to go see this woman. You can make all those decisions. And so you staying in the place where you feel like it's not in your control, you take your control away. And you give it to the universe and let the universe give you whatever they want, instead of going after it and getting yourself, because it is only as hard as you think it is. And if it's only as hard as I think it is, then there is no way in the world that anybody can ever stop you. And that's all I have to say, because your mind is a powerful place, but most people don't lift with their minds. They'll make your body strong, but they don't lift with their minds. Get your mind strong. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I believe and I love each and every one of you. Thank you very much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Have a blessed day, and remember, it is only as hard as you think it is. And guess what? Your mind is strong, so it's not that hard in the first place. Talk to you soon. Bye now.